Top 10 hacking techniques you should be aware of. A hacker can learn about your personal unauthorized information that you may not wish to expose utilizing easy hacks. Knowing about typical hacking techniques such as phishing, DDoS, clickjacking, and so on could be beneficial to your personal safety. Because of these factors, it is also critical to understand some of the hacking techniques that are regularly used to obtain your personal information in an unlawful manner. 1. Switch and bait. An attacker can purchase advertising space on websites by employing the bait and switch hacking technique. When a consumer clicks on the ad, he may be routed to a page infested with malware. This allows them to install more malware or adware on your machine. The adverts and download links displayed in this strategy are quite appealing, and consumers are expected to click on them. The hacker can execute a malicious program that the user believes is genuine. The hacker gains unprivileged access to your computer after installing the malicious program on it. 2. Cookie thievery. Cookies in our browser save personal information such as browsing history, usernames, and passwords for many websites we visit. Once the hacker has access to your cookie, he can even log in as you on a browser. The manipulation of a user's IP packets to flow via the attacker's system is a typical approach for carrying out this attack. This attack, also known as sidejacking or session hijacking, is simple to carry out if the user does not use SSL (HTTPS) for the entire session. It is critical for websites where you enter your password and banking information to encrypt their connections. 3. Clickjacking assaults. UI redress is a different name for clickjacking. The hacker conceals the real UI where the user is expected to click in this attack. This is a typical occurrence on in-app download, movie streaming, and torrent websites. While they generally utilize this technique to generate advertising revenue, others can use it to steal your personal information. In other words, the attacker hijacks the victim's clicks that aren't intended for the specific website, but for a page where the hacker wants you to be. It operates by tricking a web user into doing an unwanted activity by clicking on a hidden link. 4. Viruses, Trojans, and so on. Viruses and Trojans are harmful software programs that infiltrate the victim's system and continue to convey the victim's data to the hacker. They can also lock your files, display fraudulent advertisements, redirect traffic, sniff your data, or spread to all computers on your network. To learn more, study the comparison and difference between various malware, worms, Trojans, and so on. 5. Scamming. Phishing is a hacking technique in which a hacker replicates the most frequently visited websites and traps the victim by providing a fake link. When combined with social engineering, it becomes one of the most prevalent and lethal attack vectors. When the victim attempts to log in or enters data, the hacker obtains the intended victim's confidential information by exploiting the Trojan running on the bogus site. Hackers that targeted the Fappening breach, which featured multiple Hollywood female celebrities, used phishing via iCloud and Gmail accounts as their assault method. 6. Listening in passive attacks. Unlike other active attacks, a hacker might use a passive attack to monitor computer systems and networks in order to obtain undesired information. The goal of eavesdropping is not to harm the system, but to obtain information without being detected. Email, instant messaging services, phone calls, online browsing, and other forms of communication can all be targeted by these types of hackers. People who engage in such actions are typically black hat hackers, government agencies, and so on. 7. WAP forgery. A hacker can use software to impersonate a wireless access point just for fun. This WAP links to the official WAP for public places. A hacker can access your data once you connect to the bogus WAP, just like in the previous scenario. It's one of the simpler hacks to pull off, and all you need is some basic software and a wireless network to get it out. Anyone can disguise their WAP as a legitimate name such as Heathrow Airport Wi-Fi or Starbucks Wi-Fi and begin spying on you. Using a good VPN service is one of the greatest methods to protect yourself from such assaults. Attacks on waterholes. If you're a fan of the Discovery or National Geographic networks, you'll be able to relate to the waterhole attacks. To poison a location, in this example, the hacker targets the victim's most accessible physical spot. For example, if the source of a river is poisoned, the entire stretch of animals will be affected throughout the summer. Similarly, hackers target the most frequently visited physical area to attack the victim. That point could be a coffee shop, a cafeteria, or anything else. Once the hacker knows your timings, he or she can employ this form of attack to construct a bogus Wi-Fi access point. They can use this to change your most frequented website to redirect people to you in order to obtain your personal information. Because this attack gathers information on a user from a specified location, identifying the attacker becomes even more difficult. Following basic security procedures and keeping your software OS updated are two of the best methods to protect yourself from such hacking assaults. 9. Service denial (DDoS). A denial of service attack is a hacking technique used to bring down a website or server by flooding it with so much traffic that the server is unable to process all of the requests in real time and eventually crashes. In this common technique, the attacker floods the targeted computer with a large number of requests in order to overwhelm the resources, preventing the actual requests from being delivered. For DDoS assaults, hackers frequently use botnets or zombie machines with a single purpose: to flood your system with request packets. The magnitude of DDoS attacks becomes larger with each passing year, as software and hacker types get more sophisticated. 10. Keylogger. A keylogger is a piece of software that captures your keyboard's key sequences and strokes into a log file on your computer. These log files may contain your personal email addresses and passwords. It can be either software or hardware, and is also known as keyboard capturing. While software-based keyloggers target the applications on a computer, hardware keyloggers target keyboards, electromagnetic emissions, smartphone sensors, and so on. One of the main reasons why online banking companies allow you to use their virtual keyboards is to avoid keyloggers. So, whenever you're using a computer in public, try to be extra cautious.